Nigeria stands today as a giant on the African continent. Its importance is undeniable. It's a nation of immense energy and complexity. With the largest population in Africa, its people are its greatest resource. Their drive and creativity are felt across the globe. From the bustling markets of Lagos to the ancient cities of the north, Nigeria is a land of contrasts. It's a place where history and modernity live side by side. Understanding this nation requires a journey back in time. We must explore the roots of its diverse peoples and cultures. This history is a story of great empires, profound change, and an unyielding spirit of survival and innovation. The story of Nigeria is not a single narrative. It's a tapestry woven from many different threads. Each thread represents a unique people, a distinct language, and a rich tradition. Long before the world knew of Nigeria, a remarkable civilization flourished in its central region. This was the Nok culture. It emerged around 1500 BC in what is now Kaduna State. The Nok people were pioneers of their time. They're among the earliest known producers of life-size terracotta sculptures in sub-Saharan Africa. These sculptures are the most significant legacy of their civilization. They provide a window into a world that existed thousands of years ago. The artistry is stunning. The Nok people were not just artists, they were also technological innovators. Archaeological evidence shows they were one of Africa's earliest iron-smelting societies. This mastery of iron technology was a major leap forward. It happened around 500 BC, long before it was common in other parts of the world. Iron tools transformed their agriculture. In the southwestern forests of what is now Nigeria, another great civilization emerged. The Yoruba people built a powerful collection of city-states and kingdoms. Their spiritual and cultural heart was the city of Ile-Ife. Around the 12th century, Ife artists began producing extraordinary sculptures. They worked in bronze, brass, and terracotta. Their creations were incredibly realistic. The Oyo Empire became the most dominant of these. Beginning in the 14th century, Oyo expanded its influence through its formidable cavalry and a well-structured political system. To the southeast of the Yoruba kingdoms, another powerful empire arose, Benin. The people of Benin, the Edo, developed their own unique and spectacular artistic tradition. They're famous for their magnificent bronze plaques. These artworks were not just decorative, they were historical records. The plaques adorned the pillars of the Oba's palace. They depicted historical events, court rituals, and the great achievements of Benin's rulers and warriors. The bronze casters held a particularly high status as their work was directly linked to preserving the history and glorifying the power of the Oba. While great kingdoms flourished in the south, powerful empires were also rising in the northern savannah. The Hausa people established a number of independent city-states or casas: Kano, Katsina, Zaria, Gobir. These cities were centers of trade and industry. Each city was protected by massive earthen walls. They were ruled by a king, known as a sarki. These city-states often competed with one another for control of the lucrative trans-Saharan trade routes. The trans-Saharan trade was the lifeblood of the northern empires. Caravans of camels crossed the vast desert, carrying gold, salt, slaves, kola nuts, cloth, beads, horses, and books. This constant flow of goods also brought a flow of new ideas. The most significant of these was Islam. Muslim traders and clerics from North Africa introduced their faith to the Hausa city-states. The spread of Islam profoundly transformed the societies of northern Nigeria. It brought literacy in Arabic. It introduced new systems of law and administration based on Islamic principles. In the early 19th century, a scholar and religious leader named Usman Danfodio led a jihad, or holy war. His successful jihad led to the overthrow of the old Hausa dynasties. He established a new vast empire known as the Sokoto Caliphate. The first Europeans to arrive on the coast of Nigeria were the Portuguese. They came in the late 15th century, searching for a sea route to Asia and its spices. When they arrived, they found powerful coastal kingdoms like Benin and the Yoruba states. At first, their interactions were mostly about trade. This early trade was largely on African terms. The nature of the trade changed with the expansion of European colonies in the Americas. The transatlantic slave trade began, devastating the peoples of Nigeria. The late 19th century was the era of the scramble for Africa. Britain moved to solidify its control over the territories that would eventually become Nigeria. They used a mix of treaties, diplomacy, and military force. In the south, they conquered the city of Lagos in 1861. Later, in 1897, they defeated the powerful Benin Kingdom and looted its famous bronzes. Up north, they faced the formidable Sokoto Caliphate. A military campaign led by Frederick Lugard eventually defeated the Caliphate's forces, bringing the vast northern territories under British control by 1903. The British didn't just lump these lands together right away. They actually administered them as separate entities: the Lagos Colony, the Southern Nigeria Protectorate, and the Northern Nigeria Protectorate. The solution, devised by Frederick Lugard, was amalgamation. On January 1, 1914, the British formally merged the Northern and Southern Protectorates into a single entity. This new creation was called the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria. It was a monumental decision, but it was made without any consultation with the people who actually lived there. This new colony brought together hundreds of different ethnic groups, linguistic groups, each with its own unique history, culture, and political system. The British continued to administer the North and South differently, which just reinforced the divisions between them. The northern emirs held on to much of their authority. In the South, though, Western education flourished, creating a new educated elite. These divergent colonial policies sowed the seeds of future political tensions and regional rivalries. The experience of colonial rule planted the seeds of its own destruction. A new generation of Nigerians, educated in missionary schools and British universities, began to question the legitimacy of foreign rule. The movement for independence really picked up steam after World War II. Many thousands of Nigerian soldiers had fought for the British Empire in the war, and when they returned home, they were not willing to accept being treated as colonial subjects anymore. A new generation of dynamic leaders emerged to lead the struggle. Nnamdi Azikiwe was a prominent Igbo leader from the east. Obafemi Awolowo was a key Yoruba leader from the west. Ahmadu Bello was the most powerful Hausa Fulani leader from the north. After years of constitutional conferences, negotiations, and political maneuvering, the moment finally arrived. Britain agreed to grant Nigeria its independence. On October 1st, 1960, the Nigerian flag of green and white was raised for the very first time. It was a moment of immense joy and optimism. Millions of Nigerians celebrated their newfound freedom. The nation became an independent country within the British Commonwealth. A new era had begun. The people of Nigeria were at last masters of their own destiny. The initial optimism of independence soon ran into some harsh realities. The political system that Nigeria inherited from the British was quite fragile. All of this instability came to a head in January 1966 when a group of young army officers staged a military coup. The crisis peaked in 1967 when Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu declared the region's secession from Nigeria and proclaimed the independent Republic of Biafra. The Nigerian federal government refused to accept the secession, and this led to a brutal civil war that lasted for 3 long years. In the aftermath of the war, Nigeria experienced a massive economic boom. The discovery of vast oil reserves and a surge in global oil prices during the 1970s brought incredible wealth to the nation. It was not until 1999 that Nigeria finally transitioned back to a stable, democratic government. Since its return to democracy, the country has held several successive elections, marking the longest period of uninterrupted civilian rule since independence. The true strength of Nigeria lies in its people, especially its youth. With over half the population under the age of 25, Nigeria is one of the youngest countries in the world. This youthful population is a source of immense energy, creativity, and innovation. Nollywood has grown from a small-scale industry to the second largest film producer in the world. In music, Afrobeats artists like Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Tems are selling out stadiums around the world and winning prestigious awards. The journey of Nigeria is, at its core, a story of unity in diversity. It's a nation forged from many different peoples, each with its own rich heritage. While ethnic and religious tensions do persist, there's also a powerful sense of a shared Nigerian identity. The road ahead for Nigeria will definitely have its challenges, but its history shows that its people have the strength, resilience, and creativity to overcome them. The giant of Africa continues its epic journey, carrying the hopes and dreams of over 200 million people into an uncertain but promising future.